Okay, so this will be my final one of these videos, and I'm going live again, so hopefully my guests will come back. Oh, damn it, my phone's falling. Okay, so I'm back. I had some technical difficulties. I probably will only be on until 4 p.m., so that's like an hour from now. So I can get off and get on this homework that I should have been doing. But yeah, I started this live. I got off track. I'm not gonna say that I won't get off track again, and my guests are welcome to come back. Um, I had some technical difficulties, so if I don't get you in, I apologize now because when it comes to technology, I'm just pretty damn stupid. So, me hit this invite button. I have no request. Okay, well, oh shit, what is that? Let me see. What the frack? Oh lord. I don't want to do that. What is a co-host? How do you do that? What the hell? Okay, where are you, brother? Uh, I owe him an in, you know. So I don't know if he'll take it, but I think Kenny would be a pretty decent co-host. Well, for those who were in the first two lives, I made the lives for mixed people because a lot of people don't understand the fight that mixed people have. That is a lifetime commitment because it is what it is and it will be what it will be until, you know, our end, our last breath, our final thing. And then I got off on native topics. So we're going to pick back up on native topics as well as being mixed because these are the things that people need to understand. There are a lot of things that happen in the native community that no one is really taking note. Mainstream media isn't taking note unless it's like really, really super important, but all lives are important. The problem is no one is attending to the native lives that are going missing. And again, I brought up young Frank, who unfortunately was found. He passed away. There's another young kid that's still missing. He hasn't come back across my FYP, which disturbs me that no one, NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox, any news company is listening. Two things. One, why are you not covering MMIP and Two Spirits? I say MMIP because it's easier than to keep going through adding different things. MMIP, missing and murdered indigenous people. This is something that needs to be addressed as well as the topic that is about if you're not mixed, you don't understand it. But more importantly, there we go. More importantly, um, a lot of native issues are not being covered at all. And it pisses me off to no end that the big news companies are not covering anything involving missing and murdered indigenous people and Two Spirits. And it pisses me off to no end that they don't have native newscasters. There are no native news broadcasters unless it's independent and it's like a podcast or something like that. But we're not getting that. And then again, um, I will give the news company their coverage of Sasheen Littlefeather. I'm glad they at least honored her on some level or another. It wasn't a big thing, but they could have done better. But they don't do a lot of things for natives. And a lot of people were like, well, you guys are all over TikTok. You're always talking about genocide. Because the shit's fucking happening, you know? And then trying as a reconnective native to get back into my roots, that's a pain in the ass. And then you reach out to the people that's supposed to help you, aka the BIA, and they might as well not exist if they're not going to help you. You know, because, oh, now everybody's reconnecting. People have been reconnecting for a while. Your job is to make sure that we reconnect properly and go through the proper channels, that we don't abuse anything. And then I'm going to piss off some people, But I did talk about indigenous erasure coming from my black side to my native side. But if they're so indigenous, why are they not joining the fight with MMIP? And as a mixed native,
So
it kills
I'm
me for
gonna.
that.
So historically, Black
Welcome back, by the way.
Americans, especially those descended from slaves and indigenous people of Turtle Island, have always stood side by side. There's going to always, in any group, be those outliers.
Okay.
The people who are just there to piss people the fuck off.
The
And
ones
I've had
I
a few
speak
of them
of.
come across my page, but as a light-skinned native, is not my motherfucking place.
Well,
But I also see other
continue.
not Afro-Indigenous natives who are currently using the term Wabo as a derogatory slur for people who are black, and it is anti-black. It is indigenous people and natives being anti-black.
Thank you for telling me that, because I couldn't figure out what the hell that meant, and I've been seeing it all over
Wabo,
stuff too. It's like, what the fuck is that?
I was thinking about this last night too. Wabo means wannabe Aboriginal.
Okay, thank you.
Now, I don't know about nobody else, but I've never heard people on Pine Ridge refer to themselves as Aboriginal. The people that I know as being referred to Aboriginal would be the Australians. And over there was actually a piece of legislation during the colonization and the genocide against the Aboriginal people to, quote, breed out the black, unquote.
Well, see, I heard that, but I never heard the term wobble until like a couple of weeks ago. Cause it's like, what the hell? I'm 49, so me and technology and stuff.
I heard it before, but it was always in conjunction to like.
I heard it.
Non-natives of all colors.
This lady's native.
It didn't connect to me that all the people using it now on this app are using it only for black people.
You see,
and
I didn't know.
They're centering their anti-blackness by using it because they're trying to sit there and say that black people cannot be Afro-Indigenous, and we do have Afro-Indigenous siblings who are being called Wabo.
Yeah.
And I've been in the comment section of many of those videos.
I had just learned about that from this young lady who's both Afro-Indigenous and black as well, but she's like a combo like me. And I can't pronounce her name to save my life, but she has very pretty eyes. So she sees this high. And a lot of people were doing that, and I think she said she was part Dene. I'm not sure I'm saying that shit right, so please forgive me, because I butchered names.
Navajo.
Yeah. I wish I could remember her name. She's a very beautiful girl. And I'm sitting here.
I mean, there's some of our cousins, our Afro-Indigenous cousins who are African descendant and Taino who are being fucking attacked with this damn word.
Well, I've been in a couple of those lives. I'm like, why do they keep... What the hell is this wobble? What is wobble? And I can't just Google it, because Google's not my friend. God only knows what Google will give me if I try to use that. But the thing is, I have been in these things. I'm like, all right, I'm like hyper mixed native, because I also have part white, so I can't really claim anything. Because I'm native, I'm black, and I'm white.
You're the connection of the medicine wheel!
I'm probably the part of the wheel that broke the hell off.
You are the connection where the connecting part where the medicine wheel connects. So I don't know what other tribes have the medicine wheel, right?
Yeah.
But the Lakota have it to where white, black, yellow.
Well, I'm definitely yellow. If I pull up this.
Tap. You were literally in my lap. I don't know why you were screaming at me.
Oh, that's just what children do.
But the medicine wheel is white, brown, red, and yellow, and the center connects all four of those pieces. You heard all four of them, apparently.
Yeah.
You heard the connector.
Well, I can tell you, if I could just find that common ground, because I want all natives, including Afro-Indigenous, to get along, but the people that's giving the Aboriginal speech that are like condemning natives, but they're claiming natives, and they're telling everyone that the feathers were not natives, and that the Aztec and Mayans and all of them were not part of the native collective, and they're saying that Aztecs, Mayans, Incas, it's another tribe I can't pronounce, and Amazon are all Aboriginal blacks, but from America. Now, I don't have any proof that they're not, and I don't have any proof that they do, but I don't really give a rat's ass. Because if you're going to be indigenous, then you need to fight with indigenous over indigenous issues. You need to stop pipelines. You need to save water. You need to make damn sure that our people are stopped being taken and nobody doing shit. You know? And it burns me up.
Just like we have Eurocentric history and we have Eurocentric pseudoscience, we also have Afrocentric pseudoscience that claims that they were the first people here, which is untrue. We have proof of this through archaeology. But what I will say is it's very, very strange for our people not to be standing together against the governments of all the way from Canada down to the fucking islands when the Africans were here before colonization. Because we have proof that there was transatlantic shipping, not shipping.
Trade.
Sailing!
Yeah.
Sailing! That's the word!
The thing with it is that, you know, I'm entitled to believe that people have the right to speech. But here's that thing on that speech. Maybe
you have the freedom of speech. You do not have the freedom of consequences.
Yes. And the thing with what's been going on and all the things about Wabos and shit, I'm like, you know what, man? Why don't y'all try to listen before you start arguing? And that's been a big issue. And then I'm still learning, so forgive me for anything that I totally screw up terminology-wise. There's been my big question, because I don't know if you've seen the videos with the young black lady in the full headdress, and she's shaking and doing some other stuff, and then there's like schools that have...
I've seen a couple of videos of young black individuals.
Yeah. There's also some with the white kids doing the mascots at school. And then, I don't know how up to speed you were about, I have a friend whose grandchild couldn't bead her fucking graduation hat. And another person that I follow, his grandson or his son, I'm not going to swear to which one it is, they wouldn't let him wear his regalia to school on, there was some day, this is like about 8 months ago, and they wouldn't let him wear his stuff because he's like, I want to say he was either Hopi, he wasn't Apache, but he was in the Hopi Pueblo area, or at least his ancestrals were from there, and they wouldn't let him wear any of that stuff to school. And I was like, dude, it's indigenous stuff, why you can't wear it? And then let's not forget about the bloody lady with the Sakatoa thing that like did all that bullshit in front of an indigenous person. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm sorry for swearing, but they kind of let her slide with a lot of crap. But they also let the teacher, they wouldn't let the young man wear his regalia there because it was like an indigenous thing. They wanted to know where your ancestors or whatever was from. And they wouldn't let him wear his parents' or grandparents' stuff. Then I'm like, okay, but y'all said he had to bring some stuff from his heritage. And I guess it was like Heritage Week or some crap at the school, and they wouldn't let him do that. But the thing that really kicked me in the uts was when the young lady, she's graduating. And I'm like, okay, so she's going to do beaded jewelry. And they made her give the hat to them. And made her put on a normal graduation hat because they didn't want her representing. There was some also stuff where they took indigenous Mexican kids and wouldn't let them drape the flag for graduation. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm sorry for swearing. Reflex. And I'm like, you won't let indigenous people be indigenous. And then you also won't cover the things that are going on in the indigenous communities. You won't cover the missing and murdered indigenous people and Two Spirits. You won't let Auntie What's Her Name has not been on my FYP in a long time. And I know Auntie is biological male, but two spirit. I hope you follow this person. I can't. I'm trying not to fuck it up, because I'm gonna fuck it up. But physically, he's not female. But his YouTube, Instagram, whatever we are on's name is Auntie, and he's been missing off of this app for some time. And I'm like, okay, this person needs to be here because he's on point, keeping everybody up to speed on indigenous issues. Damn it, the other guy, he's been missing off my FYP too, and damn it, what is her name?
So I have noticed something about the FYP.
Alex
a
Fate's
lot
been missing
of
off my FYP
times,
too.
the closer it gets to election time, the more like nonsensical videos that get pushed to the FYP.
Okay. Well, these
like
indigenous creators have been
dancing
gone for a while.
videos. I've got videos of like, this message is for you. I made 4 of these, and let's see which one hits your FYP first. And I don't follow those type of creators. I follow Black, Indigenous, and people of color, and I follow my Norse siblings.
Because I was like, well, who the hell's this person? I got a lot of bots recently too. I think that's what you call them. Because they don't have. They have the ability to go live, but they don't have like 1,000 people or whatever. And I've been getting a lot of adult bots. Am I not saying this right? I'm trying not to get banned, but there's adult innuendos, and then there's numbers that come across. I'm like, okay, I haven't signed up for any of this crap.
I blocked those.
Yeah, I'm stupid. I've been trying to figure it out. But there's like I don't know if you follow Alex Fate. I follow her. There's some other females that I follow. They've been disappearing off my FYP left and right. And
I think that's because of the fact that it's coming up on election season and nonsensical videos are getting pushed.
Well, True Bear's been missing.
One of my friends, who is Norse pagan, follows pretty much predominantly Norse creators.
A lot of those have gone off my FYP too. A lot of them.
So, I am Norse, and that might be why.
But the thing is...
So if you notice in all of my videos that I post, I always post Indigenous-related videos, and I always tag the Norse, the Celts, the Druids, the Witch Talk, because...
They don't seem
to... Well, I know that the call comes from inside the house. I also know that there are good people in the Norse community that I run with that see this shit and will push it.
Yeah, my one of my Norse friends, he's been banned like 5 times, maybe more. Shout out to Tiger Bomb, because he's a badass, man, but they will not let his shit play.
I love Tiger.
They will not let his shit play. I was like, why do y'all keep getting rid of him? Oh, my bad. They keep getting rid of him because he's telling the truth. You know, and they have...
he points out the 2319s.
Yeah, they've taken him
and the dog whistles
off me so many times. It's like I can't reach out to him because his accounts are like not able to be found. And like he was up to like 7 accounts the last time he was on my FYP. And now he's not there again. I was like, okay, this is kind of fracked up. And then there are other indigenous creators that are gone. I mean, like, they are fracking gone. They didn't choose to leave. They're just fucking gone. I barely get my my indigenous wisdom of the day now, because he used to be all over my... Yeah, he's Canadian, but he's First Nations, and he's not there. He has glasses. I don't know how old he is, but he has glasses. My other indigenous guy, he's old, he's an elder, he's angry as hell, and they've taken him completely out. And he's had like maybe 5 or 6
Would that be Bad Medicine Bear?
I believe so. He has glasses. They're really cool
glasses. I was speaking about, the one that blocked me because he made a really angry video to somebody named Coffee Bean 25, who's Afro-Indigenous, and was like, I guess his message got misconstrued, and he used the word Wabo in that video to Coffee Bean. But then he came back and was like, oh, you're only 3%. because your mom's this much and we don't know your dad's, but you would be only 3%, so I think you're reconnecting spiritually, but you're not actually indigenous. And that's why I was like, how the hell are you going to sit here and say, if you're 1% to 100% to light-skinned motherfuckers like me, you're native, you're indigenous, but then you're going to say that shit to somebody who is Afro-indigenous and 3%, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're native, you're native. If you're indigenous, you're indigenous. You as an elder and a cat carrier who's claimed this on his videos does not get to sit there and say that kind of shit.
Yeah, I think what happened was he was angry about something else before he responded, but I'm not gonna excuse him.
Yeah, that video I understood. I didn't do anything with that video, but then he made a video and it was like, I apologize. Hey, Coffee Bean, I made a video earlier today apologizing, but then he brought up the DNA test or the genetics test or whatever on Coffee Bean's page, and it was like, if that's your mom's, then you're only like 3%, and I think you're reconnecting spiritually, but you're not indigenous. And I think it's spiritually because a lot of African spiritualities are close to what our spirituality is, and I was like, no. He is Afro-indigenous. 3% is still indigenous.
I think what the problem with him was that he forgot where he was stepping, you know. And there's another guy who I really respect, and I can't think of his name, but he has a ponytail, and he does go after people who get angry at indigenous people, and I can't tell you where he is, but he's not on there. He has a pool. He has a pool in his backyard or front yard, and he lets a lot of anger flies out towards non-indigenous people. He's off my FYP too. I have no idea. And a lot of my big creators that I follow are just gone, like just straight gone. I'm not big, so I'm not worried. But I'm never gonna be gone. I might get banned, but I'm not gonna be gone. But there are a lot of really big voices in the indigenous community wiped completely out. Because Miss Truebear was always on my shit. I barely get Victoria, but Miss Truebear, I got her all the time. Don't have her at all. I barely get Victoria unless she goes live, and she doesn't go live often. And then I know Alex Fate had some problems. She's gone. There's a couple of other females that I followed that are also mixed indigenous. They're all gone. They're all gone. A couple of dudes are gone. I'm like, dude, their accounts were bigger than mine. They should be still doing stuff. And they were doing stuff for the indigenous community. Give or take a couple of slips and a couple of screw-ups. But they were doing good stuff. Gone. Just straight gone. I'm like, what? How did they go? They were they were. I got like maybe 2,000 plus followers, if that. And they were in the millions. They were in the K's. I made a video about this the other day about how I'm one guideline away from being banned, yet there's this girl that's on here that's pouring water all over herself with a white t-shirt. No violations. Her boobs are 2 shits to the wind. You can see through the white t-shirt she's now wearing a bloody bra. And she's still out there somewhere. She's not on my FYP anymore, but it's like she still can do stuff. And then there's the half-naked chicks that are dancing, but I can't defend myself. I don't know if y'all have this problem. If I make a video defending myself on someone offending me, I get a violation. Which is why I'm one violation away from being blocked, like permanently on this account. And like, how does this work?
Well, I don't do clapback videos or anything like that.
This one was important.
I always use those as touching moments in the comment sections. But also part of receiving, I'm not just Native, I'm also Norse pagan, and we have a concept of
a lot of the pagans are being removed too.
They didn't offend you, you chose to be offended, and I kind of ride by that a lot on here. Because I know there's a lot of creators who are just saying stuff to say stuff to get likes, views, and clicks.
Yeah, the clout chasers.
I don't really care. Like, if it fucks with my spirit, I'm going to sleep on it. And if I wake up and it still fucks with my spirit, I'm going to go back and find the video and I'm going to comment in there and try to, like,
Well,
see if they're at least open for conversation, and if they are, I'll
I get
follow
that.
them, and when they're live, I'll jump in and have a conversation.
I get that because there are some things that have like sent me over the edge. I've made videos about it, but the thing like if I'm defending a female that's been like wronged, I got blocked. Not by the female, but like I got suspended from TikTok. I was like, what? And then about a year and a half into COVID, there was a male black person who was attacking Chinese girls for dancing in the street. I called him Mr. Clean, and I was defending them, and TikTok gave me the finger. So that was like the first time I got suspended. It's like, he was attacking them. I came on and defended, and I get kicked. And this app has its moments. It has its moments. And like I said, for some reason, a lot of the major indigenous people that I follow are gone. A lot of the major pagan people that I follow are gone. And I'm like, okay, but they don't do anything. They're not like me. They're not like cussing and swearing in their videos. They're not doing anything like over the top evil or anything. They're like giving good information and important information. Gone. Because there was one person that I followed that always, I follow a different person now who really keeps me up to speed on MMIP. But the other person that I followed was like always in the thick of it. She's gone. She's completely gone. I don't know where she is. I can't remember her name, but she's gone. I was like, but this is important stuff. Now the other lady who's First Nations in Canada, she keeps me up to speed. But when they found Frank Young, I was pretty pissed off. I know you have children, so you really don't want to hear that. But there's another kid that's missing, also up in Alaska, and they've done nothing. And it's been over 2 months now, but it hasn't come back across my FYP, so he's probably not here anymore. And I'm like, man, why is nobody covering this stuff? And it's bad, but it's so much worse than bad. There's no word I can describe it without swearing. And I'm like, okay, so we know how broad Canada is. We know how wide it is. We know how easy it is to get lost up there and never be found again. We also know the same about Alaska. But you can't sit here and tell me with all the providences between Vancouver and Toronto that they can't find a search party. And again, as you and I have discussed, the BIA ain't shit. And I don't know why they don't have any native police up there doing the jobs. Or let me guess, they really don't want natives with badges because of things. If it's not on indigenous soil, they don't want natives with badges off of indigenous soil. We were talking about this shit in class. I got to talk about this shit tomorrow, matter of fact. But I fail to understand how this app refuses to let indigenous voices be heard when it's very, very, very important. No. And especially when it comes to trafficking. Nope. You talk about trafficking, cut it. No. You talk about missing and murdered indigenous people and two spirits, cut it. And then if you talk about anything that involves pagan or indigenous erasure, the pagans get taken out. But the people that's doing indigenous erasure and jumping around in feathers and don't look very indigenous is bad. And it's all over this app.
Oh yeah, no, like a good part of Norse Talk got hit with account warnings all at the same time. Just a couple weeks ago. And we were like, some of these people have never even had issues or videos taken down. Like, what?
Yep. Well, see, that's the thing.
But there's also a lot of drama on Norse Talk, which is why I tried to avoid it. Because it's a lot of like, well, it's this, no, it's this, no, it's this. And I'm over here like, considering that most of our writings are from after Christianity became a thing in Norse culture, it's open for interpretation. Go look at the archaeology of the shit instead of fighting about people about interpreting, ancient writings that are in fucking bullshit pandemic scripture.
I'm glad you let me know that. Because for all the North pagans, the last drama that I saw in North pagans was with black Vikings and white Vikings. I was like, okay, well, we already know that there were black Vikings. Why are y'all fighting? But it got out of control. But they settled that problem. So I figured that it was done. I didn't know y'all did the drama thing after that because I was like, I didn't hear anything else bad about it.
Oh,
And
there is so much. There's so much drama on fucking Norse Talk.
we'll see.
So much.
Without Tiger Bomb,
And a
I
lot
don't
of
have
it-
too many connections. And that was my thing. He
I mean,
was my
other-
lead in, you know. It's another guy that I follow who's also Norse, but he's barely on the FYP now, and he's also, I believe, possibly military. But he has a beard and a mustache, cool looking dude, very cute eyes, and I can't tell you his name to save my life. So I'm like, but he's not
there's
on there.
always drama on Norse Talk. And it's because Norse paganism is it's one of those things that, like, because there's so many things and symbols and stuff that's used by 2319,
See, I didn't know that they
there's
had
always
issues.
going to be 2319s inside the religion itself or inside the spirituality itself, and we have people who are just blatantly fucking ignorant, and when it comes to, like, BIPOC issues and BIPOC spaces, they want to go in and make a fucking fuss, and then they don't understand why people are mad at them. And we're over here like, we can have this conversation, and then they start pulling whataboutisms, and we're like, that's not what we're talking about. And there's so much. There's a lot of unpacked racism in Norse paganism, and a lot of colonization, and a lot of colonizers.
That was my next question. Was there like some colonization issues? Are they a little bit like rougher in the infighting? Because for a while, a lot of natives that I was following had a lot of infighting, and I was like, okay, this is not good because there was a lot of infighting in the native community. I was like, no, we got to stop this infighting because we got to start bringing these kids home. We got to start protecting these waters. But then they would take it somewhere else, and it would be validation. I don't know if I'm using the right word because it would be light natives, medium natives, darker natives, and then Afro-Indigenous. And then I was like, okay, well, we're supposed to go and talk about the main issues, the MMIP and the Two Spirits, because it was like a big fluctuation of infighting and who's leading the right way. And the uncle that we will not speak of was doing his own thing, but not bringing up MMIP. And I'm like, okay, you have a powerful voice. Yeah, you might have messed up a little bit with Deep in the Womb Lands, but get back on track. And I don't think he ever got back on track. But the thing also...
No, he straight up said that he does TikTok-ish shit for monetary value and clout. So it was pretty much like a done deal at that point that he actually admitted that in a live and is recorded saying that shit.
Wow. Well,
that
thank
he
you, because I didn't know
just
that.
to piss people off for monetary gain. That I was like, you are no longer for the people. You don't get to claim you're an indigenous creator for indigenous creators or for indigenous people. You're not a fighter for us. You're not a warrior for us. You're doing this solely to fill your pockets. Like, you have gone so far off track, it's not even funny at this point. Just stay to your corner and stop bringing us into shit.
Well, see, I'm glad you told me that.
He dragged the black community and the indigenous community into this issue on purpose to try and pit us against each other, and then he went around and did the same thing again, trying to use black women as protectors. And I was like, what the fuck? Because I straight up in a live, I was like, are we not going to talk about the fact that if he had really wanted to say this with his full chest and not have a fucking issue, then he wouldn't have had his girlfriend say that shit on his profile.
Well, see,
because when I saw that video, I was like, I don't give a shit who that chick is, who that woman is. That is non-existent to me. The profile is his. It is built by indigenous people because that's who follows him mainly. Him, that, and racists for the most part.
Well, see, I didn't know he was doing it for monetary gain. I just thought he was like really helping people out, you know, because I tell people all the time, no gifts here. I don't do gifts here. I don't want any gifts here because this channel was for my acting career, and this channel was so that I could reach out and connect with people, make friends, make family, make career. don't send me a damn thing. Because one, I don't know how to use it because I'm stupid. And two, if you have a family to feed, the last thing I want to do is take one pea from your child's plate. You know, not because I don't eat peas, but it's just that people spend mad money sending people gifts and stuff. And I get it,
Yeah.
but I'm not that guy. I'm here to be seen, be noticed, be heard. I'm not here to take money from nobody. I don't do this shit for that. That's what I have YouTube for, and I ain't getting paid on YouTube because I don't have 1,000 followers. But it basically, everything that I do social media is to launch my career versus to make money. Because eventually, if the career launches, I'm gonna make money. But I also feel that I shouldn't put you in a position where if you're not making enough money to feed yourself, I'll be damned if I'm gonna sit here and be on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook and say, can you give me this, this? No, fuck that shit. I will bust my ass. Somebody's gonna contact Gatorade for me because I got like, I drank mad Gatorade. Somebody's gonna contact Lipton tea or freaking damn gold tea or whatever. Because as an actor, I want those people to endorse me so that people who are normal, if you pay like Netflix, whatever their fee is, to watch me on TV, I'm happy with that. If you want to go see me in a full-blown movie and Disney gives me a job, I'm happy with that. But at this small scale, I know that people work really fucking hard for their money, and I'm sorry for swearing, especially since you have kids by you. I don't want anybody who
Again,
is
I
in
got it earbudded.
the same like financial shape that I'm in obligated to think, okay, well, let's send this kid some gifts on TikTok. No, you keep that shit for yourself. Because two things. One, I never asked for it. And two, I wouldn't know how to cash it in. So why make you spend money that I can't give you back? Know what I mean? And I mean, it's
Like,
okay if people give it to
For
other people.
the
Don't give
people
it to
that
me.
have nowhere else to turn, that are like trying to raise funds for whatever reason,
Yeah,
and they
give it
have
to
a
them.
cash app and stuff, I understand those. But
Yeah.
the gifts thing is just for clout, honestly. Generally, if I get gifts on TikTok, I end up I turn that back into money for TikTok, and I just send gifts back out to people.
I don't even know how to do that. I didn't even know that was a concept. Thank you for telling me. I'll have to figure that out.
It is now. Like, it's relatively new since the update.
Okay. Yeah, see.
I figured out I could do it on accident.
Because my whole thing on that is that, we're all pretty much in this thing together. And I'm never going to get that much clout here. And I'm never going to sit here and be like, yo, I need like 400 gifts. No, screw that. If you want to donate, especially if you want to give me anything, here's what I want you to do if anybody's listening or watching this live. Don't donate to me. Donate to Wounded Warrior because I'm a vet. Donate to Wounded Warrior. You can put it in my name if you want. I would prefer you put it in your own name, but donate to Wounded Warrior. Donate to the Red Cross. Donate to anything that will help military or homeless people or whatever. Because the thing about us here in America, and I'm going to say this respectfully because it needs to be said, no one donates to the homeless. No one donates to Native American stuff. No one donates to the Red Cross unless it's blood. No one donates to soldiers that are homeless or can't get health care, because I can't afford health care and I'm a soldier. But the honorable discharge, the military hospital has to take care of me until I can take care of myself. And no one donates to these places. They just, oh, well, I'm going to give you 75 coins. No, you keep those damn coins. What I need for you to do is to donate what you were going to give me to some place where there's going to be a soldier, or there's going to be a homeless person, or something that's going to need that little bit of donation that you give me. Because I don't know what the price of the coins are, but if it's like $5 a coin and you're giving me 15 coins, no, you spent way too much money on me. Where you could put that money into a trust for a child. You could put that money to make sure that when CPS is dealing with Native children, they don't take them off the reservation, or they don't take them and put them out of homes that are not Native. Important shit. Don't give it to me. Give it to the people who really need that shit. Because I don't have a problem getting out and going to get a fucking job. I clean toilets for a living. If I got to go back to washing dishes in a restaurant, it's not a problem. I would much rather be doing my acting thing, but I would much rather have someone who's going to sit here on this app and decide they're going to give me coins, and I know that you pay yay so much for coins. No, fuck that shit. Keep your coins. Give it to people who need it. Give it to homeless. Give it to indigenous issues. Give it to the water protectors who need that fund to travel up to wherever the next pipeline that they're trying to cut through indigenous land to keep from happening. Give it to them because they need it more than me. I can't afford to travel, and that's fine, but I'm not going to make you put like 25 coins or whatever because that's a lot of freaking money to contribute to a man who I'm here for what? You know, I'm here to get my career off the ground. I'm not here to take money from people who are in just as bad a money shape as me. We need more shit to deal with indigenous issues. And rather it be at the top of America or at the bottom of South America, there are a lot of indigenous people in trouble. And nobody's doing shit. Nobody's saying shit. Now we have y'all. You know, y'all are doing your thing. I'm attempting to do my shit. Nobody's listening. But the thing is, if anybody's gonna donate anything to me, donate it to some indigenous causes. Donate it to some black causes. Donate it to anything. I'm not going to say donate to Black Lives Matter because I'm still questioning that. So please don't take that wrong. Do not donate it to Blue Lives Matter unless you have a police officer in your family. Then donate it to them if they're good police officers.
I'm still a no on Blue Lives Matter. I don't care.
I'm kind of with you there.
People always want to make it personal.
Yeah.
With that kind of shit, and it's like, I don't care if you have a granddaddy, a daddy, or an uncle, or a brother that is a police officer. It is ACAB every day, all day, until he stands the fuck up and risks his job. He is just like the rest of us.
I can respect that. I can respect that. Luckily, my police officer family members are fucking retired. But they still should be able to have some power to say some shit. But the thing with like donating coins and shit, because I'm never going to use them, I would prefer them to go to an indigenous creator or a black creator that has a better platform than me and that can use it in a way that can benefit everybody versus my dumb ass who can't do shit. You know, because I'm stupid. I don't know what the fuck to do with it. I don't know how to give it back. I don't know how to use it.
I'm gonna disrespectfully stop you from making any more derogatory statements towards yourself. We do not self-deprecate here.
Well, let me rephrase it. I am not very knowledgeable about technology, if that sounds better. But I would honestly prefer them to give the coins to an indigenous creator with a bigger platform that needs it, the frontline creators. You follow them, I follow them. They need those coins. They need those things to get stuff done, and I can't get stuff done. Give it to the people. My God, what is her freaking name? Damn it. She paints rocks. Jesus Christ. She just moved from Arizona to Oklahoma. And I can't think of her name. Very beautiful indigenous creator. Ah, damn it. She makes shirts too. So give it to them. You know, any coins coming my way, if you're in the live and you're watching, give it to the people who can really use it. No. Because I don't, one, know how to use it, and two, I don't know how to give it to the people myself when I get them. This is why this is a no gifts channel. You know, don't give me anything. You can give me likes. Those go a long way with the algorithm. But if you really want to give it to people whose regalia got stole 8 months ago. This young lady, her son, they did a powwow out west. I don't know what state. But they're still looking for their regalia, and so far it popped up somewhere over here, like near the East Coast. I think they said Arkansas or some shit. Somebody had took their shit and went from freaking Arizona to Arkansas with their kids' regalia. The kid's like 8 years old. Why would anybody do that?
And that's not an uncommon instance.
I'm learning.
People will steal regalia, especially non-natives will steal regalia.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Take it home and intend to sell it online.
Yeah. See, I'm learning, and I'm like, you know, I would actually like to have some regalia, but I want it made after I figure out what tribe I'm from. if they even wore regalia, because I'm pretty sure Cherokee didn't wear regalia, and I can't say the name of this tribe, like Chickamahani, oh, for Christ's fucking sake. I butchered it, but it's in Charles City, Virginia. So if you can pronounce it, good, because I can't. But I don't know if they wore regalia, because a lot of East Coast tribes didn't really have regalia. If they did, it was taken, and they weren't allowed to use it, because the Trail of Tears runs
So
far.
regalia.
Yeah.
So regalia is just traditional dress. So whatever was the traditional
Yeah.
outfits.
That's the thing.
Pre-colonization and pre-assimilation specifically that your people wore, then that would be regalia.
Well, I gotta find out which my people are first, because everybody and their mama's Cherokee. Yeah.
I still have my regalia from when I was a junior jingle dancer. I can't fit it no more. But I didn't ever get like more regalia after that. The only thing I've ever really gotten is moccasins after that.
You have a daughter,
right?
Because they're
so comfy and they're waterproof and fuck the snow.
Well, I don't like snow. But if you have a daughter, now you have a person that you can push that legacy to. You know.
I do, and she's fucking violent.
Hey, that's perfect. That's perfect. Because as long as she's violent, you don't ever have to worry about her ever being hurt. No.
My friends call her Tiny Violence. That's how violent she is.
I preach violence to females so that they will know that they can defend themselves better. I taught my nieces to rear neck and choke. I'm not sure if their parents are happy with that, but I would rather her choke someone out than be taken. So, rear neck and choke. And I prefer to have mean girls.
Her violence, her special brand of violence is because she has a 4-year-old brother and a 1-year-old brother.
Oh, great. So, she gets to be the queen of the castle. My elder sister used to beat me up. My elder sister used to beat me up, and I'm so grateful for it because it made me tough as nails. But yeah, I
am the baby.
Oh.
And I grew up with all male cousins except for like 1 or 2. And we grew up in the middle of nowhere.
Well, so that just means you're tough.
I can hold my own, but also understand I am 5'2", and I will be thrown if somebody really wants to get to me.
Well, that is debatable because I am 5'3" and a half.
Oh no, my cousins have like straight up picked me up and just thrown me across the room.
That was only because you weren't prepared on what to do when you get picked up. Yeah. So the trick to getting picked up is remember the throat. And remember to hit square in the nose so that the eyes water. As gravity starts to take hold of them dropping you, throw a knee. I'm a good martial artist. I'm better at explaining martial arts than I will ever be better at explaining anything else. But you can also slide down their back and put them in a rear neck and choke. Or you can slide down their back and you can put your knee in their back. But remember their family, so you don't want to hurt them. But as far as any other person goes,
that's debatable.
Okay.
I tied my cousin to a tree and covered him in honey in the middle of the woods at one point. Like, that's not hurting them is debatable. My cousins and I are rude to each other.
I will give you that. Our family's kind of the same.
Broken ribs, a broken arm, a cracked skull, etc. All my cousins. And I used to carry a baseball bat around because of them. I have never had qualms about hitting one of my cousins in the head with a baseball bat because they want to be stupid.
Oh my God, you are my people. I can tell you, since you said that's debatable, I have given you mad props on that because it is debatable. It really is. But as a man, I have a lot of women in my life, so I can't really put physical pain to them. But it is definitely debatable. But yeah, I mean, I really would love to see more people, instead of like giving gifts and shit, especially to me, donate it to indigenous causes. And this isn't me like trying to kiss up or anything. It's just that I watched a lot of water protectors. I watched a lot of the stuff that was allowed for pipeline through Lakota territory, and I noticed that
Dapple.
nobody was
Dapple.
doing.
Oh yeah.
They were doing nothing.
Oh yeah. No,
And
they got attacked by unregistered quote guard dogs unquote.
Yeah.
They have been pepper sprayed, maced, point blank ranges, high power water hose, and below freezing temperatures.
There's still a lot of crap going on with that. There's still a lot of
L-wraps and
different stuff going.
M-wraps. They had tasers. They had rubber bullets, which, yeah, no, rubber bullets are not non-lethal.
Oh, no, they hurt. They hurt. Don't let anybody tell you they're not. They hurt. Beanbag bullets hurt. All that shit hurts. All of it. I know rubber bullets hurt because we got shot by those things in boot camp. Yeah, those damn things hurt.
Oh, no, there's a chick from the Dapple protest in 2016 who lost her arm.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
From a rubber bullet.
Those things, they claim it's non-lethal response. There's no such thing as non-lethal response, really. It from my point of view, there's no such thing as non-lethal response. And
there's not.
even though it's supposed to deploy when it comes out of the barrel or whatever, it's supposed to like expand like the beanbag ones. And like, if you hit somebody the right way, you're gonna unalive them without a second guess of it, you know, because most of the protesters, they don't come in battle armor. You know, let me rephrase that.
No.
Most of the native protesters don't come in battle armor. They come with signs.
One of the biggest lines that stuck with me because of Dapple was, "We walk with prayer."
Yeah.
And the specific quote is, "We're peaceful people that walk with prayer. If that wasn't true, we wouldn't be standing here."
Yeah.
And it's like, I know for a fact there was no weapons, there was no drugs. They were just, the Morton County Sheriff Department was just mad. And you can't sit here and tell me otherwise, because they tried to bring in other police departments and sheriff departments, and the other police departments and sheriff departments said, "Fuck you, you're on your own because you're in the goddamn wrong." But then nobody stood up from those police departments and sheriff departments that were contacted and were like, "Yeah, this is wrong, they're doing wrong shit here, da-da-da-da-da." Like, y'all just let it fucking go?
It's because it didn't come close to home. No. As in all things.
Disrespect in my body I can muster, fuck them.
But like I said, if it doesn't come close to home, most people will not get involved. It's the same thing with like the freaking abortion issues and things, because I'm all about women's choices and women's bodily autonomy, and I don't want women to abuse abortion, and that's okay, but I don't want their rights to be taken from them at all. And the way the world is running, it's kind of like a really fracked up ass thing. But, you know, when it's not at that person's home, whether they're police officers or politicians, they don't give a damn about us. They really don't. And I tell people, because I'm in Virginia, and before I end this live, I just want you to know we had this speeding law thing here in Virginia. And how it was, like, wherever you're from, if you drive 100 miles an hour through my state, you might get a $50 ticket, but we got to pick up the rest. And what happened was, the politicians that have all the fancy cars, their kids were the ones getting busted. So every time their kid made a ticket, because anybody, if you're from Virginia, you have a Virginia tag, and you fly through here just a mile over the speed limit, you got a big ticket. Where anybody from New York or Florida can run this sumbitch at 150 miles an hour, and we got to pay for the bulk of their ticket. And so the politicians and everybody put a protest on it, so they ended it. So with most things, if it doesn't hit home, politicians don't care. And same thing with this border stuff.
I live in a state where speed limits are a suggestion, and police don't want to do the paperwork.
I wish I was that blessed.
My husband has been caught going like 85 and a 40.
I wish I was that blessed.
And he got pulled over, and they were just like, "Slow it down, son, slow it down." And they just drove off. I was like, y'all don't want to do the paperwork. That's what this is. Y'all just don't want to do paperwork, and y'all don't want to have to cite those tickets.
I wish that I was
speed
that
limits
blessed.
are just a suggestion.
We in Virginia, and specifically, we are a Commonwealth state. So you're pretty much screwed unless it hits a politician's house, you know. And the thing, that I understand how this stuff works, but we've had a lot of native shit go wrong down here because the mannequin, I'm saying it wrong, so forgive me. I'm also part of that tribe. They've had to fight for their land to not have a pipeline come through it down in Scottsville. They are also responsible for us finally getting rid of the Lois and Clark statues, especially the one where Lewis and Clark, excuse me, are aiming at the natives. And I'm like, you know what, man? I'm glad they got rid of it. I don't know what they're gonna do with them, but the fact that these are the only tribes that are whatchamajigging that people are able to contact. We had an issue here one time, and a native did it, but I'm not mad at it because it's graffiti. But it was like more like tagging, and he marked the land that was once their tribal land, which is right down the road from my house on Route 20. And he wrote the Monacan, whatever tribe it is. I'm again butchering it. He said, "This is Monacan land. It was Monacan land before such and such." He sprayed it on "Welcome to Charlottesville," and it's like, I hope this does not get reported because it was freaking awesome. Because there are a lot of
there's some
native stuff
tags
that they
in my
don't do
city
here.
that are just mwah.
Do they let y'all keep them?
Perfect. But also, like, when we had riots and shit that busted up a whole bunch of fucking storefronts, and when we had, a tornado or two that screwed up a bunch of storefronts, they boarded them over and then just basically sent out, spray paint and let the community go to work and do whatever.
Yeah, we're not that
I live in
nice.
an artistic community type place. So, like, tagging and graffiti here is one of those things of, like, you look at it and you appreciate it and you see the message behind it, but you're not mad about it because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And we have artists and we have an entire street called Cherokee Street that is predominantly black and indigenous owned businesses that are artisans.
You need to send some of your people to Virginia.
It's normal here.
You need to send some of your people to Virginia so we can get that. Because we have nothing. We literally have nothing. And we are so rule struck that the way that we are rule struck around here is that we're basically scared to make the city better. Unless it's like infrastructurally wise. We don't have like good amusement parks. We do have like regular parks, but we don't, like, the carnival comes through, they make their money and they go. But if we had a permanent carnival or something, we'd have something to do here on Friday nights. Unless you're into football, and then you can go to football until the season's over, which has started already, and I just don't do sports. But we don't have enough native exposure here in my city of Charlottesville. We don't. If I can go to Rappahannock or Tappahannock in Richmond, they have natives there, but they don't have native stuff, if that makes sense. We have no way of teaching native stuff, and if we do, no natives are volunteering, and no natives are going into business to teach the language, which I would think would be a great idea because of the crap that we learned at school, the BS history of Pocahontas, the little bit of history they gave us of Sacagawea. Now, I'm a little older, so we didn't have Indigenous History Month like we do now, which I think is next month. I don't know why they put it in November, but we had Black History Month, Native History Month, and Chinese New Year all in February, up until a few years ago.
While I was in school, we did things for Black History Month and pretty much all the federal holidays, but while Native or Indigenous History Month was still in November while I was in school, we never did anything for it.
Oh, that sucks.
And what little we did learn about, I was predominantly kicked out of the class for because I'm a loudmouth and I got a big voice and I ain't gonna shut the fuck up and sit down when somebody is wrong.
Well, I don't blame you because here's the thing. 95% of the time, when it comes to indigenous stuff, they don't teach us the right shit. They don't teach us the right shit.
Oh no, they don't.
And then they try to say that, well, this
I
is what we
believe-
read.
I believe the first time I got kicked out of my high school AP history class was during a discussion on the Fetterman Massacre.
Yeah,
And
so
I'm
you didn't even get taught that.
I was like, every action has a reaction. Y'all cannot come into my house and not expect me to quote-unquote massacre you if you are stupid enough to do that. And they were like, what? And I explained everything, and my teacher was like, that's not true. I'm like, really? Really? I got you tomorrow.
I don't
so
think
I come in
many
carrying
teachers.
16 motherfucking biographies. I'm like, here. Cite my sources, here's my sources.
I guess I
And
don't have
she's
to
like,
apologize for swearing now.
But she was like, you're disrespectful, get out. And I was like, I see how you are.
So she had no knowledge, and she didn't expect you to be native because of your skin tone.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I ain't shutting up.
Well, see,
And I'm like, just so you know, if you don't acquiesce to this issue, you're going to have an issue with me for the rest of the year.
Well, see, that's the thing. A lot of
She's like-
teachers don't know natives when they see them, unless they're part of the community. And I understand
Because
that.
they only care about stereotypical natives. And what
Yep.
drives me crazy is the stereotypical native isn't native. They
Nope.
see these, quote, natives on Western movies, like old Western movies and shit, and they're not native. They're literally in red face. They're white guys in red face and in red paint with shitty fucking regalia and costumes on that don't actually mean shit and may not even be appropriate for the tribe they're trying to represent. The only movie that people have brought to me and I can't find a like a big issue with is Dances with Wolves and Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. And that's because the book and the show were both written, and the author of the book had a say in the fucking movie for Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, and for Dances with Wolves, I believe his name was Billy Graham. I know his last name's Graham. I can't remember his first name. But he is native, so
Yeah.
he is known for correcting people on set for things that aren't accurate or true. Now, granted, the issue I did have with the movie is the fact that the subtitles and the Lakota did not.
Well, I'll tell
My
you.
little ass sitting there as a kid going, Grandma, why does it not say what they're actually saying? And she's like, oh, they're trying to be nice. Because I'm like, that was definitely like 5 cuss words in that entire statement that was just made, and there was none on the subtitles. And every time they called him like a stupid white man, I was like, why is it saying a silly colonizer or silly settler? That's not what they say.
I will tell you, out of those two movies, I've seen Dances with Wolves. I haven't seen the other one, but I will tell you, I have seen this movie called Last of the Mohicans. It wasn't that bad.
I've seen that one too. I forget about that one a lot. But that kind of leads into that stereotype thing where it's like, because there's one white guy who is adopted, now everybody thinks they're adopted. And that's problematic.
Well,
Whereas, like, Dances with Wolves, you see the trials that this guy goes through, this white guy goes through to be even semi-adopted.
Well, I will point you in the direction of a person that I was raised on, and it destroyed me when I found out that he was not native. I don't know if you know him, but he is the crying Indian named Iron Eyes Cody. Now, from what I got from Google, which is why I'm kind of questioning on that shit, because Google always gives me the wrong shit when I need something. Iron Eyes Cody, I believe, is Italian. But
yes, he is.
He played a native somewhat well for the commercial, and his message was done well. But I did not know he wasn't native until I Googled him when he died. And I was like, the hell you mean this guy's not native? It blew my ass to pieces. It killed me because I liked Iron Eyes Cody. but he was not native. And I was like, he's got to have some native. He's got to have. I'm like, I'm still searching because I don't trust Google, but from Google he had no native. That he was Italian. And I do know that on all the old Western movies and TV shows that they hired mostly Italians, but they never gave natives jobs before Graham Greene, before Adam Beach, before
That's his name, Graham Greene. I, for whatever reason, always
what the
called
hell
him
is
Billy Graham.
there's a couple of other ones and their names keep sliding me. Not Big Bear. I think it's like Little Bear. The guy from the Indian in the Cupboard. I can't remember his damn name. It had something to do with bear. Um, all of the natives that were in the only two Twilight shows that I've seen. The third movie ended my relationship, so I never finished the Twilight saga. But they never really gave real natives acting jobs, with the exception of a few females, and the one that just passed, Sasheen Littlefeather. There are a few more females that got work, but they didn't really give a lot of natives work. And I'm like, this is kind of messed up. And then most of the natives that I was exposed to, because I was born in the 70s, were Italians and not natives. And up until the only native wrestler that I know was native was Chief Wahoo McDaniel. And I was like, okay. And I did my research, so he's native. I just found out that Kevin Nash was native, and I didn't know he was native. I was like, because like you, he has exceptionally light skin. I was like, what the fuck? Kevin Nash is native? He is like remotely furthest thing from looking like a native that ever was. Which, again, like you said, they're looking for the stereotypical native. And I'm like,
that's not even
damn.
Actually native.
Yeah, but it
because
blows my
depending
mind.
on where you live, as a native person, also has a heavy influence on your skin color. I live in the mid-freaking West. 90% of our years spent in sweltering freaking heat that I can't be in because I'll fucking stroke out. So I stay inside. I don't get tan. I don't get to go outside and burn for my one time a year and then
I don't blame you.
And my fucking skin activated.
Except my problem is I like being in the heat. I love being outside. I don't know why. I can't deal with the cold. I suck at cold, and I get a little lighter in the cold. I catch back up here with my true color when it gets cold. But with everything in TVs and movies, and I'm like, you know what, man? Why didn't they just hire real natives? It's not like we weren't available, And then the only really good native thing that ever came on TV was this miniseries called Into the West. I believe it was based on a true story, but I'm not going to swear to it because it was about the railroads, because a lot of people didn't know natives helped build the railroad. They also don't know that natives helped with the Pony Express. But that movie, I know you see the lights, that movie, it showed a lot of the native stuff that's left off because of history being rewritten. And then there are other things for natives that come out of Mexico. And even Wes Studi brought some of that shit up when he was making Geronimo. There's like, it wasn't kind of like this, because Wes Studi's a very prominent Cherokee actor. Wes Studi, I think, what the fuck is his name? I'm sorry for cussing. Damn it. Wes Studi and Wayne Newton, and more Wayne Newton than Wes Studi, were trying to get Pocahontas' bones to come back to America, but they met some resistance. And they, I think Wayne Newton just eventually just gave up. But they were trying to get Pocahontas' bones to come back to America, except for her descendants don't want them to go back. So that was like a issue. And then they met more resistance on, I guess, some kind of legalities or some shit. And I'm like, you know what, man? That doesn't make any sense at all. And I'm trying to invite my brother in, and it's not letting me. I don't guess I can't get more than 2 people. But the thing sent me a thing the other day that said I could have multiple guests. I hate this app sometimes. But yeah, the Native Americans portrayal from the 60s and backwards, with the exception of the Lone Ranger, it was a really fucked up ass thing. And then I'm still.
Pretty much my theory is the fact that they were trying to stereotype natives as something to be ashamed of.
Yep.
Especially because of the 60 scoops and Indian boarding schools that were going on during that time. To more forcibly assimilate our ancestors and our grandparents.
I would definitely say they damn sure did a good job at assimilating, because a lot of us, specifically me, I've never been on a res. Never been on a res. I have native connections to natives that are on reses now, but they're not my
Well, that's the
tribe.
thing. It doesn't matter if you're an urban native or not. It doesn't matter if you've been on a res. It doesn't matter. Like, I've never lived on a res. I've stayed on the res because my grandmother lives on the res.
Well, my
But
great
I
grandmothers
have never
never lived there.
on the res. And if my mom had not made up with my grandmother, I would still know my culture. I would still have my history. I would still have my connection. I would still have been a jingle dress dancer. A junior jingle dress dancer specifically.
Yeah, well, see,
but I would never
you get that.
visited the res.
I got stories.
Whether you are on the res or off the res, you are on native land. It does not matter. You are indigenous to the earth. You are not indigenous to the res.
We never got to go to reses because my grandmother and her mother, they moved away from that and they became cooks. You know, I don't know why that was their occupation, but they became cooks. I got traumatized by some of their food because of the pancakes and the corn, but I've never.
There's just something about natives making food that is just so much better than anybody else making that food.
That might be why they kept their jobs for so long. But I didn't like corn pancakes, and my grandmother made me eat corn pancakes. I've never liked corn since then, outside of popcorn. And God rest her soul, I guess she was doing it for her feelings. But the exact thing was, you're not leaving this table until those corn kernels in those pancakes are gone. It's like, I don't like corn. You're going to eat that damn corn pancake, or you're not going to leave this table. And I would sit there for a while until I just gave in. I was like, you know what, let's just swallow it now. Because if I don't, I'm never going to get to go outside. I'm never going to get to watch He-Man. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm old as dirt. But my grandmother died when I was 35. And her mother, before her, died when I was 12. But they both almost made it to 100. And I was like, my God, natives have great longevity. And I think the main reason is because survival is in our DNA, like instinctively.
It's not just that. So and there's studies on this. You can look them up. Pre-colonization, indigenous people had longer lifespans because we lived on the land. We were active, we lived on the land, and we didn't have all these health issues because of our diets. A lot of indigenous, like a lot of native people specifically, you'll find are lactose intolerant or allergic to protein and milk or something like that. A lot of indigenous native people cannot eat certain foods because our historical diet, the diet that has been in our genetics, cannot handle those foods. It's the reason we can eat turkey, but a lot of us can't eat chicken. We didn't have chickens.
I'm the opposite.
Didn't have cow.
I can eat the chicken. I don't like the flavor of turkey, but I can eat it until I get to a point where it kind of makes me want to like not have it anymore. I was trying to say that without having to use the word puke, but I can tell you a lot of my I think my grandmother started going wrong when she started like dealing with like sugary shit, and her mother had lost one leg to gangrene for some reason I don't remember because I was like 12. But my grandmother, by the time I was in my 20s, she had lost one leg, and then she lost the other leg before she perished. And I'm like, what is it that I need to be aware of so that I don't eat that and so that I don't have this issue? And then I have high-risk diabetes on both sides. So I'm like, oh, great. So stay away from sugars, stay away from certain meats, and I should be okay. But I mean, with the way the world works right now, natives are in so much damn danger. The fact that no one's addressing it, the fact that no one cares, it just pisses me off to no end. And brother, you should have chimed in a long time ago instead of just sitting there chilling in your car without like giving us your opinion, man. Because your opinion is very well welcomed and needed. I don't want to be the only one over talking the beautiful young lady that's helping us out. No, you just chilling like, man, I shouldn't even say shit. But yeah, you should have chimed in a long time ago. We noticed you there. Well, I definitely noticed you
My
there because I
bad.
don't know if
My
she could
bad.
see you. I'm not trying to pick on you, man, but more opinions are always
Nah.
welcomed.
Nah.
No, because I need you guys to give me the shit
I
that
don't
I
know what
need.
to say about it.
Hey, I'm reconnecting, and I've been doing a really bad job at it. Let's keep that shit real. I've been doing a really bad job at it. I try to post a lot of native stuff, and I don't know if you guys are into superheroes, but I did do like 4 videos about the shit, and it pisses me off that there is no native representation. There's no mixed native representation. There's no coverage. There was a thing on A&E, like when A&E first became a channel, and that was like maybe 7 or 8 years back, about gang life in the native community. That was it. They wanted to paint everything native in a bad light, though. They didn't want to paint native stuff in a good light. And then they were talking about how reservations don't have teachers, they don't have good schools, the lack of intelligence in native communities was like declining. I'm like, well, how would y'all know that if you're not freaking there? You know? Oh, they're there when it reaches the news. Oh, a native gang decided to do something. So I'm like, what are y'all doing? You know, just perpetuating evil. Up, we lost the girlie. Hopefully she'll be back because I want to end the live really, really soon. If you're still there, I'm gonna try to end the live in like 6 minutes. That way y'all can go about y'all day, so that I don't talk your ears off. But the problem is that we are not being exposed in I got you, girl. We are not being, not so much exposed, we are not being acknowledged, and we are not being represented, and more importantly, no one is addressing native stuff at all. If it's not on TikTok, it's not being addressed. And that's the part that pisses me off. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but when you check other news outlets, you barely see. Okay, Lester Holt did one. John Quiones, he's indigenous Mexican. Still indigenous. He should be covering this shit. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. But he's indigenous. Why is he not covering this shit? He's also not covering anything on border stuff, you know, which is also important because Mexicans are indigenous, and he's not covering that. But he's indigenous Mexican, and he's not covering it, and that pisses me off because I really like him. I really like John Quiones, and I like the "What Would You Do" thing, but no one is addressing indigenous stuff, and I need to know because in Virginia, we're lucky if you bring anything indigenous to us outside of fracking statues. And we don't have places where we can go and learn indigenous culture. We have a CLC downtown, so if I have money, I can go and learn Chinese. We don't have anything native. Not one damn thing. We don't have no native, like, food. We have Chinese food. We have Indian food. We have African food. We don't have no native food at all. I can't cook any native food because I wasn't taught how to cook native food. I only can cook stuff that black people eat, you know? And we don't have any indigenous history, anything. You know, we have a black school for like museum and stuff for everything historically black. We don't have anything indigenous, like, at all. We don't have anything indigenous. We don't have any indigenous statues anymore. We don't have anything. And we don't have the means, or they probably got the means, they just don't have anybody that's indigenous that's gonna, excuse me, gonna come here and talk about it and see what we can do about it. Like I said, when the Mannequin tribe came, they really only came to get rid of the statues, which I can respect getting rid of the statues, but they should also contribute more into teaching more indigenous culture. And we don't have that here in Charlottesville at all.
One of the reasons that we don't go out of our way to teach indigenous culture to non-indigenous people is because it is taken and whitewashed and taken out of context. So people here, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a big thing on my FYP usually, where natives are saying, don't use white sage, that's cultural appropriation.
I have seen that.
And all the white people are like, excuse me, what? No, that's part of my practice. You can't tell me how to practice. Like, you can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me blah, 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 blah. And it's always you can't own an herb. You can't own a plant. You can't do this. You can't do that. And they take stuff out of context, and they disrespect it to the extent of not caring and making it harder for our people to actually use those things. And I see it a lot with the black community too, where white girls, especially white girls, white women, will wear box braids, or they'll wear, traditionally black culture attire, or they'll use traditional black culture speech patterns, or